My name is Kumar Dubey, and as of now we have talked about the steps of decision making and good decisions, importance of decisions. Now we will be talking about decision making tools. There are various decision making tools. I have pointed here 3 decision making tools. First is decision tree. Basically, decision tree is used when we talk about data. We collect some data and we take decision based on the data. So, sir, in decision tree, there are many alternatives, and every alternative have 3 probability of outcome: high probability, lower probability, and middle probability. The decision makers talk about and like this is one alternative, this is second alternative, this is third alternative, and every alternative has 3 probabilities. So the decision makers see that which decision has the best outcome. Like if we choose one and someone is saying we will choose 2 and someone else is saying that we will choose 3. So they discuss that which has the best outcome and lowest cost. Because and this is little bit related with the cost benefit analysis. Because in the cost benefit analysis we talk about that what will be the cost and what will be the benefit of a decision. Like if I have to go, my mom said that go and bring 1 kg salt. So there are 2 options. In near of my house there is a shop and he is selling the salt in 20 rupees per pocket of 1 kg. Suppose that. And 8 kilometers away from my house he is selling the salt 15 rupees per kg. But the distance which I am covering and it is time consuming and plus there will be some traveling charges. So if we add that, suppose 15 rupees is the price of that 8 km away shop plus 10 rupees is the traveling cost. It is equal to 25 rupees. And I am getting the same 1 kg salt in near my house at 20 rupees. So I will choose to bring the salt from my near of my house. But if my mom says that bring 2 kg of salt, so what will I do? It will traveling charges will be same, but and plus 5 traveling charges it will 25 rupees.
50.
Sorry, 15. 35 rupees plus 20, 40 rupees. So if I am going to buy salt from near of my house, 2 kg salt, it will become 40 rupees. And if I am going to get it from the near of my house, it will cost 45 rupees. So I will choose to buy from near my house. It is cost benefit analysis. Number 3 is SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis is basically strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. In this analysis, basically decision makers talk about their own strengths, their own weaknesses, what are the opportunities in the market, and what are the threats in the market. Strength like how where the organization is stabilized, how it is different from the other organizations, etc. And weaknesses like what are we lacking, what are the things we are not in our business, and opportunities that how is the market is growing or not, what the market needs, and threats are like how our competitors are, what are they doing. These are the things we analyze in the SWOT analysis. After this, risk management. Risk management is very important because every organization has some risk. When the organization manages the risk through a specific rule and regulation, that is called risk management. In risk management, first of all is risk identification. First of all, we need to identify what are the risks for our organization or our business. And in the second option, second step, risk assessment. We the data from our employees or other alternatives, and then we decide that which risk has the most probability of happening in the near future. So first of all, which is the most probable risk, we try to mitigate that first of all. And in the third option, risk monitoring. Time to time, the businessmen and the employees try to monitor the business risk in the organization, and what are the new risks arises and what are the risks we should be focused on more. Decision analysis. When we take a decision for our business, then we compare that with the risks and align them in the same line that if we are taking this decision, what can be the risk which can arise in the near future. And then risk communication. Whatever the risks are in the business, we should talk this, we should communicate this with all the shareholders and every person who is related with the organization.
सर इसको तो बैठा दो.
Now,
वो वाला तो जा सकते हैं, वो जाना है अगर हॉस्टल तो जा सकते हैं.
so now role of communication in decision making. Communication is a very important thing in any organization, and when it comes to decision making, communication becomes more important because first of all, communication provides an information of exchange. Whatever the information are in the market and in the organization, whatever the ideas the other employees have, they share with each other, and then it becomes easy to take a decision for the growth of the organization. Then shared understanding. When we communicate with each other, we share our understanding with each other. What he is thinking, what someone other is thinking, what is the market thinking, we can know through the communication. Then collaboration. Communication helps in collaboration. In collaboration, we can I have some ideas, you have some ideas, both of our ideas are same, then we can work together, we can collaborate and make our business growth. Then clarity in decision making. When we have proper communication, the decision making, whatever decision we are taking, that is clear. Every person knows about the decision what we are taking, and then they can all work together efficiently. Efficiency, like good communication, better communication helps in proper working behavior. Then risk mitigation. When we communicate properly with each other, then it becomes easy to mitigate the risk, whatever the risk the business will face. Then decision implementation. We have taken the decisions, we have communicated with each other, how will we implement this? So first of all, clear communication is very important in decision implementation. Whatever the decision has been taken should be communicated with every person who is related with the organization. Then define roles and responsibilities. A decision cannot be implemented by a single person, so whatever the decision is, that should be given to the responsibilities and the roles should be given to every person. Then set realistic goals and milestones. A decision is a big thing. We have to break them into short-term goals, and then when we break them into short-term goals, that becomes realistic and that becomes easy to achieve. Then allocate resources. Decision making needs many resources like machines, manpower, money, many things. So the resources should be allocated. Training and development. When we take a decision, there are many people who doesn't know about how to work, how to do these things. So the people should be trained and their mental health, mentally they should be developed. Then risk management. I talked about risk management. Then cultural alignment. The culture of the organization should be adaptability. That whatever the decisions coming, whatever the things we have to do, should be adopted by the organization. Monitoring and evaluation. Monitoring and evaluation means the higher level of the management should always monitor and evaluate that is the decision, what the decision we have taken is being done properly or not. Then flexibility. There should be flexibility in the decision implementation. Like if any crisis comes, like COVID has come. So if any crisis comes, what we will do? Can we adjust us or not? Then leadership support. In decision implementation, leadership support is very important. The higher level of the management should always support us or the organization to implement the decision. Celebrate success. When I said that set realistic goals and milestones, when we achieve those goals, we should celebrate the success because it has to be communicated with the employees whenever they are going to take some decision. There are some tools, there are some major steps, there are some challenge communication steps that we can talk with each other and we can use those tools to get a better decision. And there